don't like anything that takes away my ability to choose.
Yes.
So this first-time penalty abatement takes away my ability to say, I don't want it for this year.
Neither one of us requested this. They just became eligible to have a penalty abatement this year.
This AEP provides relief automatically and will replace the first-time abatement for eligible returns.
Do you remember when during COVID time and they did the advanced child tax credit and the advanced
oh yeah,
that was the worst thing they could have ever done.
Welcome back to another episode of Financial Fraud Friday. It is Kerrina and we are here to bring you another tax topic that we are going to discuss. Not much to deal with fraud today, more informative. Yeah, so you're going to hear our opinions. We're going to bat that back and forth like we do. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Togba. I am the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax planning and advisory firm based out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. We focus on entrepreneurs and professionals, okay, assisting you in managing your taxes and in planning for the future. Services include tax accounting, okay, so accounting, basic accounting, tax advisory, and tax preparation. If you are interested in working with us, I encourage you to visit togbaandassociates.com and schedule a consultation. All right. Kerrina?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kerrina O'Connor, and I'm the owner and founder of Cake with a K Financial, where we help six-figure solopreneurs reduce and remove their IRS and tax problems so they can run their business with confidence. Typically, that is if you have a tax bill that you cannot pay in full, and or if you have not filed for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tax years. And understand that this is for both IRS and your state. We are a virtual firm out of South Florida, but we can help nationwide. So with that being said, I'm going to go into the disclaimer. So disclaimer. This episode is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not legal, tax, or financial advice. All information discussed comes from public court filings, news reports, and press releases. Everyone discussed is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. While we are tax professionals, we are not yours yet, but we can be. Book a link in the bio and we can change that today. So, Nikay, I'm going to ask, what is the topic for today?
All right, so the topic for today, I pulled from Newsweek, an article published July 9th. July 9th. Okay, so let's see. It reads, IRS makes change to tax penalties, what it means for millions of Americans. And so it reads, millions of Americans could soon see tax penalties quietly disappear without ever filing a request as part of a sweeping Internal Revenue Service overhaul that will take effect over the next year. The IRS announced it will begin automatically. This is the important part. The IRS announced it will begin automatically waiving certain penalties for eligible taxpayers starting this summer, with the first full impact expected during the 2027 filing season when the system is fully in place. The move removes a long-standing requirement to request relief, shifting the system towards one that rewards consistent taxpayers by default. That's it. So, Kerrina, thoughts? This to me is huge, but thoughts?
Yeah, it is huge. My thoughts are, okay, like one, I feel yeah, it's kind of like okay in the sense of like, I like it. I like the concept of having it automatically done because a lot of taxpayers just on a normal day basis don't know about like the first time penalty abatement.
Okay.
I think I only know about it because I'm in this industry.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm in this industry.
Yeah.
But they're basically getting rid of the first time penalty abatement because historically what we would have to do, either you or the taxpayer, whoever's on the phone with the IRS, you would call and you would request for first time penalty abatement. You could call or you could write a letter or do the 843, all the things. And depending on your status, like if it's within the last 3 years, you have not filed late, paid late, you were an upkeeping citizen, then you would be granted that first time penalty abatement and get that penalty and the interest associated with that penalty waived. So I don't have an issue with it being automatic. It's just one, how they're rolling this out, and can they sustain it and do it properly. I think that was my issue. What is yours?
My issue with it is I don't like, well, first off, I don't like anything. Maybe it's the rebel in me. I don't like anything that takes away my ability to choose. Right. So to me,
I agree. That's
right.
Yes.
So this first time penalty abatement takes away my ability to say, I don't want it for this year. This year,
Right.
my penalty is only $50.
Yes.
In year so and so and so, my penalty was $1,500. I want it applied to that. I don't want it applied here. You're taking away my ability to choose where I get that, where I make that request. That I don't like. I don't like that. Yeah.
So yes, that part I agree with as well, because it's like people won't necessarily know. So my thing is that for those who on a normal day basis, they would not even call the IRS, because if you don't request it, at least historically, right? And actually it's still kind of there, even though, they're rolling it out now. They just started this 2 seconds ago, literally. I did see it on a client's account. I was like, what the heck is this?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like a couple of months ago. And I was like, what is this? Like I saw it, like I was like, oh, they're doing automatic now, because neither one of us requested this. So but they just became eligible to have a penalty abatement this year, where the prior years they were not eligible, because I checked and I requested and it wasn't able to. But I saw that they automatically did it because I'm like monitoring accounts. And I was like, oh wait. So I did a little digging. I was like, oh, I see this. Yeah. But yes, I like, for those people, sorry, I was like, tangent. For those people who would normally not even know about the first time penalty abatement, not look into their accounts, won't be able to, they have not been able to get a professional to help them. I can see how it could help them. But for those who have big big tax issues and big tax debts where they do have a professional, I think this is where we're going to have to come in and watch that now, to say, hey, this first time penalty abatement should not be applied. We don't want it applied here. We want it applied to 2020, or you know what I mean? Like whatever.
Oh, and I'm interrupting you, but can we do you, because I'm not seeing where you can do that, but then again, like you said, I'm not seeing where you can't do
where
that.
You can't.
You know what I mean? Like it again, so here we go. It's a Wild Wild West thing. Like, can we do that though? But I don't see where we can't.
Yeah, why as representatives that we're trying to do the best for our clients and advocate for our clients, I would argue and say that is part of advocation. I am advocating for this penalty to be applied to this year instead of, because as long as the requirements are met for that particular year, it can be done. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And another thing too is, like, I think I learned about it a few years ago, that I thought the first time penalty abatement was only one time, because the name is a misnomer. First time penalty, you actually can have it more than one time in a client's account.
Yeah.
As long as the 3 years, not,
as long as the other requirements are fulfilled.
Then you can get it multiple times throughout the client's account.
Yeah, because they're saying they will begin, and they've already started, because we're in summer of 2026
Yeah,
now.
they started.
Yeah, begin phasing out first-time abatement and transitioning to what they're now calling this automatic exemption from penalty system. It's summer of 2026. This AEP provides relief automatically and will replace the first-time abatement for eligible returns with original due dates on or after January 1st, 2027. These
Yeah.
penalties are when taxpayers qualify, penalties will not be assessed during processing. Also, they're just not going to assess the penalty at all for failure to file penalties, which are, yeah, that's the one, right? Failure to pay penalties or
Mhm.
failure to deposit penalties. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not all tax returns, but most tax returns and payroll tax return 940, 941s, 1040, 1041s, etc.
Mm-hmm.
1120s, 1065s, all of those things. Um, yeah, like um, I
Yeah.
can see where it can be. You know what's so interesting is that the IRS, Congress, government, etc., they always make these rules and these plans without consulting tax professionals. I think that is more the issue than anything else. Do you remember when like during COVID time and they did the oh my god, the advanced child tax credit and the advanced
Oh, yeah.
that was the worst thing they could have ever done as far as like I understand that they were trying to give the American people more money and all of this like so they can get their money quicker. They should have done it in a different way, in a different manner, because the amount of people that were pissed because their normal refund was not the same and having to explain to them, hey, you already got your child
Part of
tax
it.
credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of your child tax credit throughout the year. Some people didn't even notice. Like, like I would have to, you know what I mean? Like you have to ask them, hey, do you remember getting it? It should have been about $100 a month, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I don't remember this. I didn't get this. What are you talking about? And then they had like, if they were living in the same house, they would each get one. It was so confusing and a lot. And if they would have just discussed and had that conversation with a tax professional, somebody somewhere will tell them, please don't do this. Or do it in a different way or do it in a different manner. I think they have too many of these things where they do and they think it's helpful, but they don't know what the implications would be. Like they don't even think about it. Like let me just make this automatic.
Yeah, and then and when you say they think it's helpful, and that's from their perspective. They don't have
Yeah,
our
yes,
perspective. And
that's
so I
true.
guess that supports what you're saying, which is that um they
Consult. What are
don't
you talking to?
consult with us. They don't say, and again, I don't know, is it in yeah, man, sure. Is it intentional? Do you know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Is it
like, oh
slightly
yeah, I don't really care what
because
you.
because here's the thing, or is it not even necessarily, let me not say is it intentional. We just don't
Mhm.
care about that aspect. We will deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And
Mm.
that's not a bridge we got to cross. That's a bridge you people have to cross.
Mm.
That's your job. You figure out how you're going to navigate this in the best interest of your client. That's, you know what I mean? And then the client doesn't understand that. I have to figure this out in a way that it doesn't come back to you. Or now I have to try to understand what was
Mm.
done and then prepare your return in a
To
way that I can explain and support if somebody asks the question, or in a way that no questions are asked. It doesn't come back to you. And I have to make sure that I understand what happened, why it happened, and what those repercussions are when it comes to you and your individual tax return.
Mm.
You know, I like this overall? No, I don't.
Mm.
I don't like it. I know how people would be like, "Oh, this is great." No, it's not. Mm-mm. It is. Let me. It's great for individuals who don't have a tax professional that they work with
Yes,
directly.
that's what I think.
That's what
It's
you
good
said.
for
Yeah,
the
it is.
DIYers.
It's good for them
Yes, it's good for that.
because they don't know it
And then
exists.
yeah, so it's like, oh yeah.
But then
It's like,
here's the
oh
thing, right? We're saying it's good for them, but they don't know they didn't know it existed in the first place because it's basically
yeah.
saying the penalty is not going to show up on their return anyway. So they didn't file. They got the penalty. You see what I'm saying? They're not
Yeah,
even in loop to care about this. This
that's
is
true.
this is something we're in loop more so to care about than the taxpayer. A taxpayer who's in this
That's
position. You see
true.
what I'm saying? So
Because I
it
don't think,
do
okay, go
you
ahead.
see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Because it's like, okay, well, they don't even know that they're getting, excuse
They
me.
bless you. They
They
don't
don't,
know. They didn't know it existed. They didn't even know they got it. Th-
yeah.
They won't even know. They didn't file a return in the first darn place. This is not stuff they pay attention to. They don't care.
Yes. And I'm wondering, are they going to provide a letter to let you know, hey, probably
Oh,
not what
that's a good question. I don't
they
know.
would do. The only thing they would probably do, like maybe on the CP 2000, they will put this is the amount you owe, and then this is less in that confusing little box to
Mm-hmm.
see with the little years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then nobody like, the average person doesn't know what the hell that means anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They just see the large, oh, I owe 20,000, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, well, we gave you a first-time penalty abatement of $65.
Right? All the while you got
Mind you,
that
the penalty is
$1,500 floating from 2024 you want taken care of. Yeah, I mean, like, what? I don't want
and
this
then if they're doing it
$65.
automatically, for like I said, for the DIYers, this is a good idea, but for like people who have like big things, it's not as
That's
seamless.
not
So
helpful.
like, because the penalty is like the penalty amount increases as the months, as the time
Goes
progresses.
by.
So if it's automatic,
So if it's all, oh, that is true. Right. Well, no, because if it's
well,
automatic, either way, it wouldn't have been, if
it
you
wouldn't
wipe
have
it,
been. Yeah, I get what you're
depending on,
saying.
okay, all right. Well, yeah, it kind of it washes.
It
It's wash.
washes in that regard.
Mhm.
So, but first time penalty abatement is not gone and it's not void, at least for the older years. But it seems like from 2026 on, it won't necessarily be a thing now. It would be this automatic blah blah blah. And my understanding too, I don't think in this Newsweek article, but I felt like I've read some other article where they were saying that it's helpful administratively, like for within the IRS, like at the administrative parts of the first time penalty abatement, this makes it easier. um Not sure how much, and that's what I'm saying, like maybe like, because before they have to say send you a letter to hey, we accepted your first time penalty abatement, this is the amount that you will be either refunded or will be applied to prior debt,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
yeah, and then like maybe let's talk about what penalties are included. And yeah, what penalties are included and maybe like what's not.
Okay. Um, well, let's
Because
see.
it's the failure to file,
Hmm.
which is basically you are not filing your tax return on time.
Hmm.
That one's hefty. I would highly even if you do not have the money, I would highly recommend that you file your tax return, even if you don't have the money. There's failure to file, failure to pay. Um, exactly what it sounds like. It's you not paying on time. You're not paying your tax return on time. Typically by April 15th, or there's other deadlines depending on whatever it is. And then failure to deposit. Um, there is this more for payroll tax. So you should be every company and business has a specific time that they need to deposit things by. So sometimes that could be monthly, biweekly, like it really depends on there are strict guidelines that the IRS has based on each company for the amount of employees and wages that they have. So make sure you know what that is. And you're supposed to deposit your payroll tax that you take from the employees into the IRS system on time. So if you didn't and you failed to deposit that on time, this also gives you relief. So what's not included is like what is it called? The accuracy related penalty. So that is if you forget to include a uh, something on your tax return, that does not count. There's an accuracy related penalty, like, okay, we, the IRS, see that you received, I don't know, 50, 60, $70,000 in W-2, 1099s, all of that, but you only put 20,000 on your tax return. That does not count. That's accuracy related. You didn't accurately file your tax return, is what the IRS is saying. That does not have any type of first time penalty or automatic penalty relief. Nikki, do you have any thoughts?
Um, no, you broke that down. Accuracy. Oh, an estimated tax. That was the other one on it. Estimated tax penalty.
Estimated tax.
So if you're self-employed, usually you have to pay estimated taxes. If you don't pay, there's usually I find the amount that, depending on how much you've made, I don't find the amount to be substantial. But then
Yeah.
again, that is a matter of perspective, and what someone would consider substantial. But I wanted to ask you about the supporting fairness and voluntary compliance aspect. They're saying the IRS is making this change to promote fairness and consistency in the application of penalty relief while encouraging voluntary compliance. Do you think that this encourages voluntary compliance?
Mm, no, because people are going to do it anyway. So, like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. This is what I was saying about, like, kind of, this sounds more administrative than anything else. Like, for the DIYers who had no idea that this was even a thing, they are the ones that's going to come up on the good side, I guess, of it. But for like the clients that have a tax professional and owe a significant amount of money, um, they were already in a bad place. You know what I mean? Like, it's already been years. It's, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get themselves back into order. Um, I don't necessarily think so, but I guess like the way they're saying it is like this is a reward for filing your tax on time, and because that's the requirement to be able to get this benefit is filing your tax on time, like paying on time, trying to do what you did before. This was already in place. They're just calling it a different name and making it automatic.
Yeah, I don't think it encourages voluntary compliance. I don't think it encourages that at all. I think that's just talk. That's just fluff. Because people are going to do what they were going to do anyway. If you're a compliant person, you're a compliant person. If you're not, you're not. We know that. We know the ones that are not compliant. It's like compliant. It's like pulling teeth to get them to become compliant. It's a mind shift that has to occur. So this doesn't encourage voluntary compliance, in my opinion. That's where I stand with it. We will see how that goes.
Yeah, how
We
it
will
affects.
see how this affects the 2026, the 2027 filing and all of that, 2026, 2027. We'll see how it goes. But overall, my opinion, don't like, not
Yeah.
for it, not at all.
So my opinion is it's okay for the DIYers, for the people, like I said, who have like real issues. Not a preference at all, because it's not typically, it may not be beneficial to them, especially like the example we said before, if this is doing automatic on $50 as opposed to 5,000. Like that's not that's not in benefit of the taxpayer,
Yeah, yeah.
and that is in the benefit of the IRS actually.
That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
But
that's
again,
but
we'll
that's
see
why it's
how,
important to have a tax professional, or to know, you know what I mean? Like, because
yeah.
we're keeping abreast of this. This is like, because I don't know anybody who's keeping up with that type of stuff. Like, oh well, the IRS is now. I'll give you like, you know what I mean? That's not something, and it's not even. This isn't, like I said, this isn't anything particularly new. They're just automating this. So it's like, oh, this is this new thing. It's not new. It's they just changed the name and made it automatic.
Yeah, they just changed the name and the way that that they've taken away, to me, they've changed the name and they've taken away who has the power, in my opinion. They've taken the power away from the taxpayer. And unless there is something that we can do to ask that it be shift, and Lord knows what if that's going to take an act of Congress to say, I don't want it applied to 2026. I want it applied. You know what I mean? Is that going to take 3 months? Is that going to take 6 months? Is that, you know what I mean? Do we have to fill out a form now to ask them to put it over here instead of over there? Can we even do that? We don't know, or is it once it's done, it's done? Don't know.
In everything, once it's done, it's never done. Like, just, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, okay, so like, and not even that was really like dismissive in that regard. It's not okay. So it was like,
no, I got you. I get you.
Yeah, it's not okay once. No, like, okay, hey, no, this is what. So one of the taxpayer rights is that you have the right to pay the exact amount of tax that you should pay, something like that, right? Like that's not the exact verbiage, but you shouldn't pay any more nor any less than what you have the right to pay the exact amount of tax, basically, whatever, right? So with this, it's the same thing. Like I have the right to have my first-time penalty abatement. It should be applied to something else, to a different year, if the requirements are fulfilled. Why can't I? But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, and then that's why it's important to have a tax professional, because if we have power of attorney on your account, we are able to act in your best interest to say, hey, I'm literally acting as you and putting my best foot forward in front of the IRS on your behalf. I would like X, Y, and Z to be applied here. And then for that other $50, I can either do a reasonable cause if it applies, or maybe the client just pays that $50. You know what I mean? Because we can't do any better for that penalty. Fine. But getting the $5,000 waived on the following year would be a lot more beneficial.
It would. So I don't know, like I said, we will see. Again, and those are my final thoughts. We'll see. I don't like it. And we will, it's always a trial and error. You kind of go through it and trip and fall and whatnot, and see what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. It becomes, we're in that another learning curve for something. So that's my final thought on that.
Same, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? No?
Nope.
All right, you guys. Well, this was another episode of Financial Fraud Friday. Again, Kerrina and I are here every other Friday. We post a video. We encourage you to add your comments, your thoughts. If you have a question or something that you would like us to address as far as taxes are concerned, please ask those questions. If you'd like to ask your question in private, feel free to reach out to either of us via email. Our contact information is there. We encourage you to follow us on social media platforms. You can follow Kerrina at Cake Financial. You can follow me at Togba and Associates. And we want to thank you for listening, sharing your thoughts, and asking your questions in advance. And you guys have a great day. Kerrina, anything else you want to add?
No, bye.
That's it. All right, you guys. Bye.